Here's a picture of the most important person in my life. His name is Terrell, and he's 7 years old. My son is the reason that I get up each day. There is no other feeling on this planet that compares to the birth of your children. I now have a burning fire inside me to succeed and supply my next generation with financial freedom. If it wasn't for a chance reduction, I might not even be in this position I'm in today. Let me explain. I was on a lad's night out, partying and drinking, just having a good time, when I saw a beautiful woman standing on the other side of the dance floor. My first reaction was that she was out of my league. However, I plucked up the courage to go and talk to her. I downed what was left in my glass to give me a bit of Dutch courage and then proceeded to wade through the dance floor. I had to duck and dive as I made my way slowly towards her, being careful not to knock anyone's drink over on the way. I finally got close enough and our eyes locked in an intense stare. She quickly looked me up and down and then gave me a small smile as a sign of approval. I then leant in to whisper my best line into her ear. Before I had a chance to say the first word, she pulled back sharply with a screwed up look on her face. She then proceeded to wave her hand in front of her nose, indicating a bad smell. I quickly turned and sulked back to my friends that were laughing far too much at my failure. I asked my best friend if he could smell anything funny on me. He said that he couldn't smell anything. I was very confused by the rejection. I put the experience to the back of my mind and continued to enjoy myself. As we were leaving the club, I bumped into the same woman again by the cloakroom. She politely smiled and then said, "You should give up, I raised an eyebrow, not really understanding what she was talking about. She then went on to say, "Smoking." It all started to fall into place. After that day, I vowed to give up smoking, and touch wood, I haven't started again. A week later, I met the mother of my children, and the rest is history. The moral of this story is that first impressions are very, very important. The same applies to your landing or squeeze page. This page is the first page that your prospective subscriber will land on. You have on average 3 seconds to capture the visitor's attention before they hit the back button and are gone forever. I reinvest a huge amount of my revenue back into my business through traffic generation, mostly on solos. Solos are a great way to get targeted traffic to your squeeze page at a very low cost. Most squeeze pages convert at around 10 to 20%. On average, clicks from a solo cost about 35 cents, and if we apply the 1% rule, you would need 500 clicks to make one sale. If you're not familiar with the 1% rule, it goes like this. To get one sale, you will need to send 100 visitors to a sales page. I always use this rule as a rule of thumb when I'm trying to work out the profitability of new advertising mediums. I generally get higher than 1%, but it's a good way to measure. A 500 click solo at 35 cents per click would cost $175. So if you were selling a $97 product after the visitor subscribed, you would have just lost $78. So not great. There were a lot of numbers to get your head around, so let me draw it out so you fully understand. So let's go over. So in total, you bought 500 clicks, and then each click cost 35 cents. That will mean that the solo would cost you in total $175. Now, 20% of those clicks opt in to your form. So 20% of 500 clicks would give you 100 subscribers. Out of those 100 subscribers, 1% of them buy your $97 product. So that would mean you'd make $97 revenue. So if you spent $175 for the solo but only made $97 in revenue, you would have just lost $78. I know that over time you could make back your investment, but that also means that you will have to wait before buying more traffic, unless you buy it using money from other sources. The key aspect in my business, so I can keep generating endless targeted traffic, is that my advertising spend is made back on the first day of the promotion. This allows me to rinse and repeat. If we take the same example from before, but instead of getting a 20% opt-in rate, you could increase it to 40% opt-in rate, you would have got 200 subscribers from 500 clicks. Not only will you make double the sales, increasing your revenue to $194, you will have double the amount of people going through your follow-up sequence, making you even more money over time. Let me show you how optimization works. So here we are at my squeeze page, and this was the first squeeze page that I created. What I wanted to test was the background image, and which background image got the best opt-in rate. So I put together 6 different background images with a standard opt-in box in the middle. So I had this beach image, another beach image, an image with a car and an attractive lady, another image with a different car and an attractive lady, an image of a house, and another image of a house. So there you can see 6 different images where I'm using 2 similar, and I tested these squeeze pages with my traffic. So what would happen is that when the traffic landed on my squeeze page, a script would automatically show one of these variations, and then I'll be able to see the conversion rate of each different landing page. So let's look at the stats for the test. So what I used to do the test was Google Analytics, and in Analytics you have something called content experiments, and this allows you to do A/B split testing. So let's look at the first test, which was the background image test. I sent in total 480 visits to this test, and let's have a look at the results. So as you can see, the original, which was an optimized press landing page, had a 4% conversion rate, so extremely low, and this is what triggered me to start doing landing page optimization, because my opt-in rate was really low. And as you can see, the number of different background images had an effect on the conversion rate. So house 2, which was this image, had the best conversion rate at 7.83. Then the second best conversion rate was house 1, which was this image. Car 1 had a 5.45 conversion rate, car 2 had a 5.19 conversion rate, and the beach images had the worst conversion rate of all. But as you can see, by doing this test, I increased my opt-in rate on my landing page by 93%. So even though my overall conversion rate was still quite low at 7.83%, I still had a massive uplift in my conversions. So then I moved on to the second stage of my conversion optimization, using the best converting page, which was this house image, and then started to look at the variations on the opt-in form itself. Initially, looking at the headline. So if I just click on the lace experiment, which is the header image, we can see that a winner was found, and I sent 963 visits into this experiment. So as you can see, we had the original landing page, which looked like this. Then we had the white with black outline headline, which looked like this. Then we had the white with red outline headline, which looked like this. And then finally we had the black and red headline, which looked like this. As you can see, look at the numbers, the conversion rate for these pages were extremely high, a lot higher than in the first experiment. The major difference between the first experiment and the second experiment was that the first experiment was using traffic from swaps, and this experiment was using conversions through solos. So not only did I learn that the conversion rate of list swaps is much lower than conversions on solos, I also learned that the white and black outline headline works much better than just having the plain red text which I had before. And with conversion optimization, it's a case of test, analyze and refine. You have to continually be testing, continually be analyzing your results, then refining your squeeze page, landing page to ensure that your conversion rates have increased and rolling out the winner each time. As you can see from the winner of the first test, which has just the plain text and the opt-in form and the house background, all I've changed is the headline image to be a graphic image. Now this has made a huge increase in the conversion rate. The next step would be to test my subheaders, to add a graphical image into the subheader to further increase my opt-in rate on this page. The next step would be to change the button image to again further increase my opt-in rate. Once I've gone through that whole process, I will then go back to the beginning and start testing the background image again to see if I can further increase my opt-in rate of my squeeze page. Now, as you can imagine, there's a lot of work involved in setting these tests up in regards to HTML code, configuring your autoresponder and getting it all set up and put online. So what I want to do is I want to help you increase your conversion rates without you having to know difficult HTML and complicated systems through Google Experiments. If you click the Buy Now button below, you will get access to my best converting opt-in page plus lifetime updates of my best converting opt-in pages. So as I make improvements with my opt-in conversion rate, so will you. It's a no-brainer, and I hope to see you on the other side.